Good morning. Welcome to Texas Motor Speedway. We are going to kick off our media availabilities today with Chris Buescher, driver of the number 17 RFK Racing Ford. If you have a question for Chris, please raise your hand and we will get a wireless microphone over to you. All right. Do we have the mics? Oh, we'll go here to Jerry Jordan.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net. So, what's your week been like, man?
Been busy for all the right reasons. So it was good though. We got to do a big RFK celebration on Monday. It's been neat. Just been around a lot of the employees at Roush for a really long time now. Probably close to 10, a little over 10 years. Some of them that have been at RFK for a really long time. And remember when I was working in the shop there. So it was pretty cool to see everybody pretty pumped up, get that excitement going, and get some of that momentum in our favor, which I think we've been heading in the right direction, but the win's big, right? So that was really cool. I've had some sponsors over at the shop, and they're pretty pumped up right now as well, so that's been all good. And then on Thursday, I was right back to mowing the grass like every other week. So it's got its highs and its normals just the same.
So, quick follow-up. This week we saw Brad post about the first thing he did when he signed his contract was make sure that you had a ride. How does that make you feel when, that relationship and for him to recognize that you were an untapped free agent, for lack of a better term, and, to know that you're wanted?
Yeah, I mean, that was big when I heard about it way back when, right? And, it was neat because that was early on in that year to really be working on contract stuff and to get that tidied up and set really before I had heard news of what all was going down. Even that was I know some people said it was not a well-kept secret, but it was well kept to me. So I didn't have a whole lot of a clue what was going on, but it's really neat to have that knowledge and know that he had that confidence that we would be able to get to victory lane here together. And as he came over and really started to try and get us turned and heading in the right direction. And I think there's been some good momentum over a few years now, but I've been looking for those last few steps. And I think that we thought we would fire off this season a little bit better, but there was no quitting anybody, and took us a little bit to get traction under our feet, but we got going pretty good through the summer and feel like we're in a good place where there's more of these potentially this year for us. And between both cars, I think that was awesome to have two cars that led so many laps at Bristol. I know it's my favorite racetrack. I think it's pretty high up on Brad's list as well. So that always helps going into those places that you like. It's a little easier to run better, but it was definitely a good feeling. Feels like we're heading in the right direction, and feel like it was warranted or backed up at this point now.
All right, we'll go right over there and then up to Bob.
Justin Schuler, Kicking the Tires. To follow up on all of that, well, first off, congratulations on last weekend, but how does that feel to finally get this checkbox cleared off and get that behind you guys? Because, obviously, Brad's a winner. He's a champion. We know you can win. So how does it feel to finally get that checkbox done?
Yeah, it's that first one's the tough one, right? And, it's been a really long time since that Pocono win as well. I know y'all threw some numbers at me that hurt my feelings last week, but it's been a long time coming, and it's been really cool because everybody at RFK's had some struggles through the years, and I've been around through the heyday and through the very absolute highs, and I've seen the lows along the way as well. So to be turning that corner to get back to where we're competing for wins again. Being able to pull off some wins, it's really special to myself and everybody back at the company. Like I said, I have so many friends within the organization that I've known for almost my entire time that I've been in North Carolina, and that's something that just means a little bit more when you get to see those guys and girls that have really put in so much effort through that amount of time to be able to see some progress. Brad is a champion in our sport. He's won I don't know how many races. Someone with those same stats that told me it was 2,000 and something days could probably tell you. But I think that it's really special to get it started. But we're not done. You know, this isn't our peak. We have a lot of potential going forward. We're going to stay after it, and you know, might as well come back to home track and keep it going right here, right?
All right, up to Bob and then Holly.
Bob Hockris, Fox Sports. First, is this the first year of your contract extension, or is next year?
I actually don't even know how to answer that by extension, but you know, glad to be back at RFK. I honestly don't know the. That's kind of embarrassing. What the extension years look like, but no, it's you know, was signed back at RFK when Brad came over on the ownership side, and are signed up to go again. So looking forward to finishing out this year strong, but also being locked in for next year and being able to or being ready to hit the ground running.
Okay, so did you do that last year, or was that this year?
Both.
Okay, well, I guess my question is, why not look around? I mean, RFK, I mean, you guys weren't running great, so why not, you know, if Brad thinks you're one of the top guys out there, why not look around?
You know, I think there's two sides to it, but you know, the way I see it, I have so much appreciation for Roush, for Jack, for Robbie Reiser, for everybody at RFK, and for Brad as well. That has really helped me fire off my professional career, right? I mean, this was, I came from racing Legends cars to signing up with Roush to go into a development program and run ARCA races with the Rulo brothers up in the Chicago area. So I feel a lot of loyalty to RFK, and like I said, I've got friends here that I've known over 10 years that have watched have the absolute best days in racing, and seen them go through the dip and be on the return side of that as well. So it gives me a little bit of extra pride to know that we're working on bringing that upswing back, and seeing that you know, those rough years and the effort not declining and staying there is yielding results, and to get that first win at RFK for myself, for the organization this year, and to do it in the first year with the K added onto the end. I think it just gives me a little bit more excitement and pride that we're able to get it done here, and I think we're going to get it done here. And we're not, like I said, this isn't our peak. We're actively getting better, and I think that the potential is here to do better than any of those other teams out there. So I think that's where we feel like the confidence level is really good. It has been all summer long with a few stumbles along the way, but for the most part, some awesome races at all kinds of different racetracks. And maybe mile and a halfs are not our best at the moment, but even those have been competitive. And so we look at this one as another, not reset, but another opportunity. And like I said, the potential's here. The people are here. The resources are here. And I think that we can win races, and we can compete for championships here.
All right, we'll go to Holly and then up here.
Hi, Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. You touched on this a little bit after you won the race, but what does it say that there have been so many different winners, and the fact that 3 people that aren't even in the playoffs have swept the first 3 of the playoff wins? But what is that saying about the health of the sport right now and the competition level overall?
Yeah, it's a pretty wild first round of playoffs, and you're a huge fan if you're not in the playoffs right now of how it went. But I know there's a lot of playoff drivers that definitely didn't see that one going that way. I think it shows that there was a really high potential for race winners not to make the playoffs this year, and it didn't quite happen in the timeline before the cut, right? You know, can you imagine if we got down to it and we had not just one, but maybe 2 drivers that had won races that were kicked out of competing for that championship, sitting there thinking, man, we had a breakout year, and we don't even get to try. So we were close to that, and it wouldn't have taken but 2 or 3 different races along the way, and some just a small different moment along the way, a little different luck here or there. You know, we had moments where I thought we could have definitely could have upset that and added our name into that playoff potential box. So It's cool to see that many different winners. It's cool to see it across so many different teams. It's really neat to see it across a bunch of 2-car teams, right? It's not just the 4-car operations, and I think that really goes to show that the potential with this car is there for everybody, and it's been a big deal for everybody in the garage. It's been a large learning curve, and without the majority of the testing that we typically would have had with what I would consider basically zero practice. I know it's still here, but it's hard to get this thing right off the truck, and so we had teams that really hit it early on the West Coast swing and really racked up a lot of wins early. We had teams that came in during the summer, and then we've got was it two or three of us that hit it after that cut, and so it's cool to see because there's a potential for a heck of a storyline going into the playoffs with people missing, and just needed a few more races to get that accomplished.
All right, we'll take one more question over here.
Rob Albright, PRN. A couple of weeks ago, I got Matt McCall's perspective on why he felt the 17 car was consistently running better than the six car. I know last weekend you both had potentially race-winning cars, but Chris, what is your thought on why your racing season has routinely been more productive than Brad's? He's certainly still a championship-winning race car driver. And has he sought you out, or have you provided some input for him?
I'd like to think that I've had some help along the way, but I've definitely gotten things out of Brad that have contributed to our successes at tracks like a Phoenix or a Richmond that would not historically be my best. So he has been helping me a lot this year. I don't know how much he knows it, but there have definitely been some pretty key moments from that side of things. As far as coming in, so I think about my first year at Front Row. I think about my first year at JTG, first year even on the Xfinity side with Seth Barber on top of the box, and then our first year with Graves on top of the box. That first year between a driver and crew chief has never been instant success for me. And I don't know if that's what it is, but I do realize how hard it is to find that chemistry and find that understanding. And then you tack on the fact that our testing is almost gone and our practices are so short that you really don't have the opportunity to change anything on the car when you're looking for a feel out of it. And we have those small boxes that we can go to, but even that, it's not if you don't have that understanding ahead of time, it's hard to get there on a practice day on a Saturday. So I've been a part of the struggles for many years. Feel like we were bouncing around for a while, and it's tough to get it all right that first year. And then you stack on the fact that it's over to a new organization on top of that. That's even harder. It's a new organization for Brad and for Matt, for McCall, right? And so trying to get used to different methods, different cars, different manufacturers, it all adds up pretty quick to make it harder to get there. I think Bristol was a good show that we can get there, and I think it was, I won't say easier, but being Scott and I had been at RFK for several years beforehand, it made it flow into it a little bit easier to where we were able to find our way a little bit quicker. But I don't have any doubts that they're going to get there. And Bristol was a great show, and actually there's been several weeks prior to that. So it's just hard, and it's supposed to be at this level. It's top level motorsports in the country, right? And getting everything to really flow right off the truck, it's a big deal, and it takes a little bit of effort. So they're getting there. Don't sleep on anybody yet. We're still making progress along the way. It just took us a little deeper into the season than we hoped.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck this weekend.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Good timing.